Sonia McCoy Wilson, and I am the Associate Vice President for Learning here at Atlanta Technical College. On today's episode of the Culture of Caring edition, we will be talking to Staphea Campbell, who is the Director of Institutional Advancement at Atlanta Tech. Hi.
Yes. Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Great to have you here. So I'm going to start with a definition of what a caring culture or a culture of caring campus is. So caring cultures emphasize developing and fostering relationships that are characterized by kindness, respect, and a sense of belonging. So that kind of frames our conversation today. So my first question that I've asked all the guests is, tell us a little bit about your journey here at Atlanta Technical College and how you began and in what capacity and what are you doing now?
Sure. Good. I started at Atlanta Technical College right before COVID. So I started February of 2020.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I came on and I worked 2.5, 3 weeks, and we all went home for a year. So I started during a time where, of course, I was just meeting my department and just a few others. So after a year, a little bit over a year, coming back to campus, most people thought I was a new employee, but no, I've been here for a year. Not a new employee. But of course, I did spend that first year as a manager. I came in as manager for institutional advancement, managing the systems and the databases that track our donors for advancement. So during that time, of course, we're managing our donors. It was during a time where there was so much uncertainty, not just with life in general, because no one knew what to expect from the pandemic and how to really address it. It was just go home until we can figure this thing out. But one of the things that I can say is that coming here to Atlanta Technical College, it was not a hard pivot because it's a technical college. And I could tell from the first month that we were ready. And the students were able to pivot with online learning and classes. Employees were able to still meet because we were in Zoom meetings and meeting and still carrying out the business of the college. So although many things around us had come to a standstill almost, the college and the priorities and our mission did not.
Absolutely. And it's funny that you, I forgot that you began, right, really not even 30 days
Not 30
before,
days.
Our D-Day is what I refer to it as. Because the idea, the concept of caring campus cultures was born out of the pandemic. The things that we did quickly, efficiently, effectively, on a dime, really were characterized by cultivating those caring cultures throughout that whole year and beyond. I remember that my colleagues at other colleges, they were planning their, quarantine. We didn't have an opportunity to really plan much because we were one of the first areas to be hit by actual cases of COVID on campus. It was one of our high school partners or school district partners, Fulton County Schools, and us. And we went home overnight for, a year. And so we had to really care about each other to make it work, to provide people with that psychological safety that they needed, because it was so uncertain. Everything felt so unsafe. We needed to be able to provide that for people that, we were now doing the business of the college in their home offices, in their living rooms, and in their kitchens.
Yes.
So it was an interesting time and a creative and innovative time. And it was also scary, but it was made so much less scary.
Yes.
Because of the kind of campus we have.
Exactly.
So thank you for reminding me of that. So now that, fast forward 2024, almost 2025, describe some ways that your department provides a caring culture for students.
Yes. Within our department, which is the advancement office, before telling a little about the advancement office, it's actually kind of like two offices in one. Although we're the advancement office, we have the fundraising arm of our department, which is the foundation. Mm-hmm. So within the foundation, that's where we solicit the gifts, the grants, the proposals for donations that come in for program support, scholarships, or just unrestricted dollars that come in to support the needs of the institution. So the way we look at a culture of caring from our perspective is when we solicit scholarship dollars, those are dollars that are coming in to support our students. So we're looking at the students and the needs that they have, knowing that many of our students are coming to us non-traditional. Some of them may have families, have been out of school for 5, 10 or more years, and they want to come back. Mm-hmm. So we know that we're working with families, not a lot of them are just right out of high school, but a lot of times we're working with individuals that have families, individuals that have jobs, individuals that have a lot of other responsibilities. And sometimes they may look at college as one of those areas that I can't afford to do this. Mm-hmm. But we, in our office, show them that there is a way, because we do have scholarship support for those students that we offer them 3 times during the year that they can apply for. And then we also have other needs. So when we're looking at a culture of caring, we're looking at what can we do to remove some of the burden when it comes to that financial piece. How can we remove some of that burden from those students? And we do that through many of the funds that we have that come in to support our students in the form of scholarships.
And you guys do an amazing job, and the students are so grateful and appreciative of these services. Yes. That you all are providing, and it really, the gap funding that you can provide makes the difference between a student staying in college and having to drop out.
Exactly. And many times with the gap dollars that we have, some of them, they may have just $100 balance. Wow. But if it's $100 and you don't have it, it could have been $5,000. But if you don't have it, it's money that you don't have. So when we come in with gap funding, we're looking at students that have balances and they've kind of exhausted all of their resources. So we don't want to derail someone's dream over $100. Mm-mm. So we come in and we provide what we call gap funding to cover that balance for those students so they can continue their dream, and hopefully, they're gaining the skills that they need in order to go out into the workforce and now not just earn a wage, but they can earn a livable wage to support their family. Yeah. So, because some of them, in order to come back, they're taking on less hours. Some are part-time, some are not working at all. They're depending on that family source and that family support. But just having that little bit of someone else that says, I see what you're doing. I'm recognizing that you made a decision to come back to better yourself, to make an impact in your family. And we're here to provide that caring support. And we do that through our gap funding.
And we appreciate it. Mm-hmm. So now, thinking of yourself as staff and member of the campus leadership team, describe some ways that Atlanta Technical College provides a caring culture for faculty and staff.
Looking at from our department and kind of what we do, since we look at more of our funding, we provide support because we have donors that give to professional development. So that's a way that we're making sure that our staff, that they're being trained, that they're receiving the necessary tools and information that they need in order to grow. So we're an institution that we're looking at growing, and that just not related to just students. Mm-hmm. We want the faculty and the staff to also receive that same type of growth. So we have donors that give to our college to help professional development. When it comes to faculty in the programs, we have donors that look at programs, so program support. So we want to make sure that those programs are trained on state-of-the-art equipment. So we have in-kind gifts that are given. We have departments that need just even more faculty or more people in that department. So we have companies that come in and they support them with some salaries. So they will kind of offset some of the salaries for those programs, people that are in there. So when you look at caring for faculty and staff, so we're looking at making sure that they're receiving that same type of support and development that our students are receiving.
We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Your office is magical.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so now that we are almost at the end, I've asked this question of everyone on each episode, almost everyone. Since you are having those touch points of students, the whole circle of the campus community, students, faculty, and staff, if you had to give some words of encouragement or words of advice to students who are thinking about enrolling, and applying to Atlanta Technical College, but they're hesitant for a whole long list of reasons, what would you tell them?
It's okay to just start small, and that could be with one class. A lot of times we look at enrolling or doing something and we want to go to the extreme of, I want to go all in. Sometimes going all in may be good. Sometimes it may be good just to take that first step. And that first step could be enrolling in an online class. That first step could be enrolling in just that one class. So once you're in and you kind of get your feet wet, then you can increase, but just start. And I was saying when you start, then you'll see that it wasn't so bad. A lot of times, sometimes we say that we are our worst enemy, how we can make all the excuses for ourselves, but we can provide so much support for someone else. But I think it's time that if I had to encourage someone, there are times where it's okay to be a little bit selfish. In a sense that you have to take care of self first so that you're able to take care of someone else.
Absolutely.
So, and I would just encourage them at this point, it's time that you think about yourself. What's going to be fulfilling for you? What's going to help you in your growth that will then in turn help those around you? So I would say definitely just make that first step to whatever it is, online class, that one class. And then if you want to add more to that, you can. But definitely take that first step and just do something.
And as you were saying that, I was thinking exactly how you finished it, that, self-care and taking care of oneself is not selfish. As you described in the beginning, the kind of makeup or profile of our students is that many of them are supporting whole families, extended families. And so taking care of self is also taking care of all those people that are counting on you for support. So pouring into you is also pouring into them.
Pouring into them.
Absolutely. So as we come to the end of another episode, we want to thank you, our viewers and listeners, for tuning in and spending your valuable time with us for the Culture of Caring edition. We hope that you found this episode informative, thought-provoking, and entertaining. If you enjoyed what you heard, don't forget to subscribe to our podcast so you can be notified about future episodes. And if you have any feedback or suggestions for topics that you would like for us to cover, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We love hearing from our listeners and are always looking for ways to improve and grow. Until next time, continue to stay strong so that you can finish strong.